I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? This week's episode, a little bit all over the place, more than usual to me. And the irony is that a friend of the podcast, Auntie Holly, gave me some criticism that I took into account. She said that I meandered too much, and I actually took notes for this week's episode, and I meandered more than ever. So I think it's when people tell you not to do something, and then you end up doubling down on it subconsciously. So I'm sorry if it gets confusing or hurts your brain or it's too much. Fast forward. I'm gonna try to get it together next week. But there's just so many people that have been essential to putting me where I am that I would be remiss not to say their name and to tell a story about them. It's my way of showing love because I'm a storyteller. Doesn't make for the most coherent podcast, but it helps me get to my point. It's like all these tangents in the Murs universe that I think everyone's important and they do all tie together. And I like to also show anyone listening for inspiration that everyone does matter and can matter if you pour into them like you expect them to pour into you when you meet the right people. All right, enjoy this week's episode and try to get a more coherent, linear line next week. All right, y'all, it's been a while since I've been in here. I ran the marathon for those of you that are concerned or interested. 5 hours, 25 minutes, I believe. Thank you to everyone who donated. I think you all are getting to know me, so I'm just going to be authentic. Like, I crossed the finish line. I don't give a fuck about that medal. There was no feeling. I didn't feel like I could do anything. I'm just glad this shit is over. And more importantly, that we honored the legacy of Nipsey and we raised the money. That's it, man. I don't give a fuck about the shoes, the shirt, the medal, the photos. I should post pictures. I don't give a fuck. That's just me. I love being of service to my community. I love being a man of my word. And I consider myself a man of God. And I really felt called to do it. I couldn't figure out why I did it. Nipsey is someone I met on the set. Funny enough, all this happens after Walk Like a Man. Eric Payton, who directed and produced the Walk Like a Man short film and directed a couple videos for me after that and produced a lot of them, went on. Of course, my manager, I was just talking about this morning, Russell Rideau and Ted Chung. Ted goes by Slant from Korea, Slant Eyes from Korea. He was an amazing producer, rapper down with Project Blowed. I met him there as a kid, and he was in a group. He hung out with a lot with the Bastards. Shout out to Eastside Bastards.
I'm from the east side, South Central LA, where fools try to make they pay. Struggling from day to day, you best watch what you say, cause the looks from my hood don't play. Over $1, gunshots get spread, it was up to scared with his food got laid. He be down a point to try to dip with his chips, but the copper came back and emptied the clip. Ain't too many real brothers left, everybody got a gun, but they scared to go toe to toe. And the homies roll around in Lolos that constantly get pulled up by popos. The east side, a place where locals walk.
They went to school at Eli and Scarab Junior High.
No way, man, get some style. Acting as we were ever child. No, some juvenile masters being scared. We used to go to school with two of them. Roaming in circles of actors, pursuing the right, and you know we were doing them and screwing them.
And Ted was friends with the Bastards. I was friends with Eli Scarab. I used to just go over to Pazuzu, who's another dope MC. Oh my gosh, he has a song called Tippy Toes.
Turning to the spawn from the core. Like these whack MCs up off the floor. Pass on up to the dimension where you see something more. Just like that, the blood begins to pour. Power has more than seep into my soul.
That Pazuzu tape was a fucking amazing. Pazuzu Watt. And they had a crew. Oh, I can't think of the name of the crew now. But they had a group. It was Vixen, Slant from Korea, and Pazuzu. And they had a song called, I think, Six Cents or something, Incense, that's on Below the Surface, which is a classic.
I smell like a mixture of pheromones and foreplay. Cocktails in a door tray. Nat Sherman's covered with cologne spray. Air pollution and sunny weather. An 87 Cadillac's interior leather. You smell like something from the back end of the body. A construction site porta potty. A morbid, sickly odor of a decomposing body. Rocking boxing shorts and a box of old warm pork tamales. And golly jeepers, you can lose your senses just by smelling some slant. Simply stated, I control the conditions wherever I...
There's Project Blowed and Below the Surface, which are classic hip-hop crew collaborative compilation albums. I think the Bay has some of the best gangster rap compilations and Swisher House, like if you count Swisher House the South. But as far as underground rap compilations, I mean, those are the West Coast versions of Sound Bombing. It's the best way I can explain it. Man, and Lyricist Lounge tapes. And they never got as much pub. But Below the Surface, if you can buy it on vinyl, Omid is one of the best producers in the history of the game to me and the culture, and definitely on the West Coast, and he produced the whole project.
Fuck all these haters, slash imitators, market imitators, do not access. You seem to be the wackest, go practice, come touch this fatness. Here's where the bus stop, leave your ass stuck at the bus stop. Fool my homies, the bus driver, making your route live up, making the bus rock. FLOW, apostrophe S, all positive best style, highlighted. Trying to stay gone, faded. You got the tie, fight it, white fight it.
Another sidebar, I just saw Style Wars for the first time. Shoot Me. When I talk about going to New York for the first time, I went with Doze. And guys, I'm just realizing that Doze is a big deal to people because he was in Style Wars. The kid who says fairy flying.
So what? That's not even breaking, man. That's all fairy flying. I call that fairy flying. Who goes for Rocksteady?
He was a kid. I didn't know who Doze was. He just moved into our warehouse complex in East Oakland, and he was cool with me, and he did dope art. So I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll do a cover for you. I'll do this. You're just cool. When you go to New York, I'll take you. I didn't know. I knew he was a legend because people, when you go like Frosty Freeze, all these people, I had no idea I knew them from, I knew Crazy, like just from their names being in the culture. I didn't know that this was what put them on the map for a lot of people. I just knew to respect them because I heard about them, read about them. So when I got to Rocksteady and everybody's bigging up Doze, I was like, oh, he said he was in the crew. He was really in the crew. Okay, he's an OG. Like, cool. You know, like people are saying, like, he taught Ken Swift how to b-boy. He was like, him and Crazy Legs are the first. And he's taking me to the park, and I didn't understand who he was until yesterday. I mean, I knew who he was respectful, but like to the outside world, he's this guy from the movie, this kid that was in this movie. To me, he was just, his skills spoke for himself, and I love that. For me, it's just like, he was dope, he was kind, he was authentic, highly intelligent, inspired, all that. And I didn't need to know he was in a movie for me to respect him and gravitate toward him and revere him. Just saw Star Wars. Leave it at that.
What'd you do last night? We did 2 whole cars. It was me, Dez, and me 3, right? And on the first car, in small letters, it said, all you see is, and then, big, black silver letters, it said, crime in the city, right? It just took up the whole car? Yeah, it was a whole...
My big homie is disappointed in me, but I don't eat that. I should have watched it by now, but I watched it. Now I got to see it for the first time with my son, who we were on a set. I did a shot of video for my part on a song called They Agenda on the Microdose EP from a group called Third World.
We was all good, they don't want us to remember, cause black and brown power ain't a part of their agenda. I walk in 3 different worlds at the same time. It might get triple the years for the same crime. So I don't fuck with white, and I don't fuck with coke. If you ain't ready to fight, the homie fuck them jokes. But when you famous, gotta have a sense of humor to deal with the...
And they shot it downtown LA in the studio, and there's graffiti everywhere. And during one of the breaks, my son's on spring break, so he's with me. So I just walked him around and like showing like, this is gang graffiti. If you see East Side, West Side, usually it's not as well done as the other graffiti or artistically, and they're not as artistically inclined. They're writing for a purpose. This is a throw up. This is a fill in. This is a flare cap. This is like thin caps. Like this is, you can see where they started to spray and when they flared up and when, trying to can control, teaching him, this where this guy's crossed out. You see this guy's does a lot of pieces over here. He probably lives somewhere around here, so you wouldn't want to, like, all these things I get to teach him. And then I was like, oh shit, he hasn't seen Star Wars. I haven't seen Star Wars. He's on spring break. So tomorrow, my 4 or 5-year-old, me and the 11-year-old watch Star Wars. And just for them to see the culture and graffiti, because he has a piece book. And then when he mentioned, when I told them I was late to get him back to film, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm just trying to teach my son. And then we were on set with a bunch of writers, and somebody gave my son a mean streak and told him how you make mean streaks. And then another guy was like, yeah, man, I still write. And I'm fighting the case right now. Like, I'm 30-some years old, blah, blah, blah. I can't stop. But you don't have to do that. If you want to, that's cool. But you can't just do the gallery route and blah. Like, just having a community in real hip-hop, it was phenomenal. And it just goes back to how Doze was with me without me knowing. He was just an older hip-hop b-boy that knew shit. And he taught shit. That's the beauty of this shit. Once again, if there's any theme for this podcast, it's community, how important community is for the culture.
Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody just clap your hands.
Super tangent, but if you remember 6 minutes ago, I was talking about Eric Payton, who came to direct my videos through Walk Like a Man, who I met through Ian Davis, who introduced me to Ninth Wonder, who also introduced me to John Cena. Now Eric Payton, who I funded, we basically, me and him, I think 75-25 paid for Walk Like a Man to get done. It's a story I got. We're in business now. So around this time, I start MCTV, which is a video magazine with him. He's filming that. He's also doing behind the scenes for Paid Dues. I also can get him a gig to film behind the scenes for Rock the Bells. Paid Dues starting, I may have to do on Patreon, y'all. I'll do the whole story of Paid Dues there. But how it fits into here is that, or this intro is that through, when I signed this deal, I knew I was dealing with a major label entity and I wanted to call in the big guns. So by then, Ted Chung, who was Slant, was working with, I think he started working for Backwoods, and he had like basically progressed to where he was doing something at Doghouse Records with Snoop and helping Snoop do things. And he was in the industry, he was well-versed. So I said, you're the most well-versed in the industry I know. I think he was like, maybe, I don't think he was managing Snoop yet, but he was helping. He was working with Snoop a lot. I was like, I know you're doing big shit. Me and Basic had started a group and then ended a group called Blue Collar. He was going to manage Blue Collar. Me and Basic MC were going to start a group called Blue Collar, which he ended up doing with Reese, which is a great group. If you haven't heard of them, please check it out.
You need to bounce, step or just slide to the left. Raise off my sleeve, please, I need space to breathe. You need to bounce, step or just slide to the left. Raise off my sleeve, please, I need space to breathe. You need to bounce, step or just slide to the left. Raise off my sleeve, please, I need space to breathe. You need to bounce, step or just slide to the left. Raise off my sleeve, please, I need
me and Basic didn't end up doing it, but I knew Ted was into managing. I said, Ted, I need a manager for me. I'm starting to deal with labels and 30-page contracts. I can read it, but I just need a buffer and somebody who has some pull, because he was working with Snoop and no one wants to run afoul of dog in the business. And he, otherwise, I think so as well. There's just a level of respect. And Ted said, yeah, and he introduced me to Russell Rideau, who became my day-to-day because Ted was busy doing Doghouse stuff. I think Russ is from Watts or from the East Side somewhere, I believe. He went to school in the East Side, and he knew my cousin who taught at Verb Day. As a private school on the East Side. Shout out to Big Phil. And Russ and I began working together. He became my day-to-day manager, my first time having a manager. Through that, Russ met Eric Payton, who had begun producing some of my videos, and John Mazik, who was doing lighting on Walk Like a Man, who directed the Hustle video, who did the Murray's Revenge video for this album. If you've seen it, it's the Mike Tyson one. If you haven't seen it, they keep pulling it offline. It's amazing. John is amazing. And one day, I believe the story, I'm going to tell the story. Like, I walked into Eric Payton's job, and he was working at AT&T. And I'm like, bro, are we making videos? Are we, like, Phil, are you a director, or are you selling cell phones, bro? Like, what the fuck is going on? You need to quit your job, because every time I want to talk to you about work or video, you're in here. So that's why I felt it like I had to get him work. And eventually, he's, I think, president or COO of Unanimous Films with Stephen Curry. But he started working with Ted, because Snoop would see my videos and other artists would see my videos and be like, yo, who did that? And be like, oh, John Mazik directed, Eric produced, and they would get gigs like that. So they got, for Malice in Wonderland, Eric Payton got, I think he produced a short film for it. So they invited me to set. It's a whole list of stories that go along with that day. But there was the I Wanna Rock video. Nipsey has a feature on that album, and he was in the background. I was like, who is this kid with this Malcolm X chain? A gold diamond encrusted Malcolm X chain? Oh, I gotta meet this dude.
All the speculation, the preconceived notions got me overcompensating. And for you slow niggas, that mean I've been concentrating on shitting on these records while you rappers constipated. It's get money, fuck haters. Me and hip-hop is like Chucks and blue laces. Me and Snoop Dogg and Sir Charles and King David with problem. We all ballin' like the 09 Lakers. Yeah, it's Terrence Martin on the track, and I'm that young nigga dropping crack back to back. My album on the way, and I ain't worried about the stats, but I can tell you how the streets gonna react. They gonna say,
turn them things up. Said put them on up. Turn them things upside down. Put them on up. Turn them things upside down.
And I met him, I talked to him, took a picture with him. I posted on Patreon. Shout out to Drea. Me, Bad Luck, who's also from the East Side, where the Bastards are from, that neighborhood, that area where Ted grew up or hang out. Like, he was the only Korean dude on the East Side of Los Angeles. Not East LA, but the East Side is different. When I met Nip that day, I was like, oh, cool, you know. Kept in touch. We shot the Fresh Kicks video there. I met Sam and his dad. I think Fast, like a couple people, I booked it for paid dues, and he didn't show up. And he was the only person to never show up for paid dues. Or not the second people, Los Nativos. Maybe Pigeon, so 3. Pigeon John, Los Nativos, for different reasons. I'm not mad at any of them. But I was mad at Nip that day because I hated people not showing up. I believe it was his first festival. I had gone down to meet with them because my partner was concerned about gangs and violence. So I said, look, you know, let me just meet who's coming with y'all, explain to y'all what it is. I wouldn't put you in danger. You know, do what you got to do, bring who and what you got to bring. Just let me meet them so I can shake their hands and let them know, like, I'm trying to build something for us where we can keep doing this. So please, if there's any problems, just come to me and I'll try to work with you to get, you know, just being very professional and respectful of what they had going on with their lives and their concerns, and hearing them out and making sure everything was right for them. And then it didn't happen, so I felt away. And I let go of it. And then we announced the new lineup for Pay Dues, and as you'll hear later, I'm at Earl's or Jack's Chili when Jack's Chili was Earl's. Or I don't know if it was, I think it was when Earl's took over Jack's Chili, but there's Jack's Chili on Crenshaw and Exposition, which is right across from the Good Life Cafe, where the Get For Life Cafe used to be, and right across from West Angeles Baptist Church, where it's like, I think, one of the most famous black churches in Los Angeles. So it used to be Cameo Cleaners, everybody in that parking lot, the Rouse parking lot, where we'll go down on Crenshaw now. It's going to be a fucking train. My first house I could have bought was right behind there. I would have been worth a lot more now. Just to be personally, to be able, because you were going to be able to get on that train and go to LAX. But I probably would have had a rough time up until this point, because it's, you know, still active neighborhood in some ways. But I was there, as I mentioned how active it was. I was there, you know, eating. I am a rapper that is in the community. I don't have security. God, you know, I got prayers. So I'm announced Pay Dues. I've been doing all this work, building up the lineup. I think this is the 6th year. And I'm like, whew, threw down my little sidekick. I'm about to eat a vegan chili burrito or turkey chili burrito. I don't know what I was eating at that point. And I'm on Crenshaw, who called Nip, hits me immediately like, yo, I owe you one. Let me do it for you for free. Just pay $1,500. Just pay, that's his band, $1,500 or nothing. Well, it was his band at the time. I got you. And I said, okay. Thank you, man. I didn't have to ask you. And of course, yes, we'll put you, because we didn't announce the whole lineup. And then he showed up and did the press. Like, by then he was bubbling. This is still, I don't know if this is post Crenshaw or after Crenshaw, but it was way before Victory Lap. But he's definitely a name enough, especially in the city where I couldn't get other artists to show up and do radio promo. I had to do all the promo myself, and a lot of up-and-coming artists, shout out to Noah James and Curtis King, and all the other artists that would show up to do the radio promo. And Nip actually showed up with Noah and Curtis to do a drop, to do a promo spot, as well as performing for free to make up for that. And I always honored that he was a man of his word, and I love that. just love how seeing him give back time after time. When they had the new point of sale thing was digital and they revamped the store, like I was out there for that, and just seeing him, like he's literally with his shirt off, all his chains on, blue rag, handing out hamburgers to little kids. And Lauren London is carrying huge Costco pallets of water and handing them out to kids and really serving the community. So when we lost him, it felt like, man, this was not only like, there's lots of real ones, not lots, but there's some real ones. This is a real one that was really serving the community. The way I'm outside, like he'd be out, I would see him and I'd be like, last time I saw him was at the Tupac movie. You know, I'm like, bro, I feel like you shouldn't be outside. Like, my homie used to tell me that all the time around this time, but especially around Murs for President, and I'll tell some stories. But like, my homie used to roll up and be like, and sorry to anyone offended, but like, cuz you can't be outside, bro. Like, what are you doing? You just can't be walking around over here like that. And I'm like, nah, because when I first started rapping, not that I was arrogant, but I planned on being famous. And I remember asking Dell in a hotel in Montreal in 1998, like, how do you do it? And he was like, when you stop going places is when you stop being able to go places. And so I just, I look at Robert De Niro, like, I didn't want to be like other rappers. I don't say anything really that in my music where I have a problem. And I don't wear jewelry, and I don't have, or usually, I had on Dunks before people in the hood, like, weren't checking for Dunks. So like, I may have on some $200 shoes, but you wouldn't know. These are the things that excited me about Nip, like him serving the community. And so when we lost him, I remember where I was standing. I remember when the little homie called me, the pain in his voice, because for him, that's like Tupac to them. For a young person from LA, he didn't make it to be that to the nation, I think, the way he would have, but he definitely would have been that vibe, his own thing, but that strong, because he just was out. He was really serving the community. So I felt I had to step up and serve. So when I saw the post from Marathon, because I still buy the clothes and like try to support however I can, but I was like, man, fuck buying these clothes. When I went to the Black Panther premiere, like I had to call my friend that got me passes. And we're talking about making friends out of fans. It was a fan that I met at an in-store at Fat Beats that became someone of importance at Disney, who was like, yeah, Murs, whenever you want to come to the Black Panther thing, I got you 2 passes. I'm like, wow. And I was like, last minute, I was like, I don't have a tuxedo. And I was like, bro, I'm about to wear my Nipsey. I have like, save this for a special occasion, my blue Nipsey Pumas with my red, blue, and gray Nipsey sweatsuit. He's like, perfect. I was like, because to me, like, that was, like, he was a black king. And we're going to Black Panther, and I'm going to wear that. Like, that is how much I respected him. And, like, so I buy the clothes, I buy all the stuff. But I'm like, yo, instead of just buying money, I could write a check. Like, he would be out there. This is something he wanted to do. So I could be like, hey, and I foolishly thought that a bunch of other rappers were going to sign up. So I was like, I don't even know if they'll accept me. But I immediately saw the post and told my wife, like, hold the baby. I'm going to go to the garage and film an entry video. And I'm going to just be like, yo, I don't know if y'all know who I am, but this is this. And this is why I want to do this. I have 4 sons. We drive past that. Like, that became my new Fat Burger. There's a closer Fat Burger to my house, but I would go to Nipsey's Fat Burger on a regular basis with my children. Whenever I get back into town, I used to just go straight to Fat Burger. That's my, like, I'm home food. From my bachelor days when I didn't have a wife. Now my wife will cook for me. But even when in the first years of our marriage, when I was living in LA, she would be offended that I didn't want her food when I got home. I was like, it's just a thing. So she would order Fat Burger for me. Like, it was a thing. And when he got one, it had to be from that Fat Burger on Crenshaw and Slauson. And I never had to, like, post on Instagram or, like, DM him, like, hey, I'm going here. It's just, he put something there in our community. I'm going to use it. Same thing with Haroon Coffee. If there's Compton Vegan, Mo Better Burgers, like, if there's something that in our community and I know it's funded by someone I know in the hip-hop community or the Black community, then I'm going to support it at all costs. I'll drive further. I'll wait longer. I'll pay more money. But all that is, like, that's how supportive I was. But I was like, it's time for me to stop spending money and start doing something. So my children know where that building is that the neighborhood found a Hit Nip Foundation, hopefully, God willing, will be. I plan to have them going up and through there. You know, some of my kids have been in that parking lot even when it was open. We drive past Crenshaw and Slauson. I have to run. I can't just write a check. And for me, it's also like running, and as you hear Dream Chaser, like running through these streets, like I'm not driving to Equinox to go run on a treadmill. Like I'm running up Crenshaw to Florence, down West Boulevard, past the cemetery where I buried my son, past the cemetery where my mom and my stepfather have brought their plots, past their house, past the Forum, all up and through SoFi Stadium, across 111th. Like I'm running in the hood. I drop my kids off or something. I'm running at Darby Park. I'm running at Rogers Park. I'm running in the community training. And that's also going therapy. Like I have PTSD from getting hit up on these streets, from running on these streets, from selling, like whatever. Just this environment, it was supposed to be healing and also like to let people see black men jogging, or quote unquote Rasta jogging. It's funny, when I saw the Bob Marley movie, you see it, like he's running a lot in there, and that I was like, oh shit, okay, Bob did this. And like running has just always been a thing. When I talk about around this time is when I started running, because I was like, yo, I read the thing where it's like, you'll be as fit, however fit you are at 30 or 35 will be their peak fitness. So like, okay, I was lifting weights and stuff, but I wanted to start doing cardio, because I started noticing too that, oh, I do a high energy performance. A lot of that was being 20 something. Now, if I want to maintain this energy on stage, I'm going to have to train, because I don't do a rap performance. I'm athletic, or I do an athletic performance. I'm not athletic. Speaking of basic, basically drove by. I was like, man, I was coming home from the club at 3 something in the morning, at 4 in the morning. I saw you jogging in mid-city. What the fuck? I was like, man, he's like, I need to be on your time, or 6 in the morning or something like that. So I got sober. This Murs Revenge is sober, non-cussing album. I started working out, vegan, lifting weights, doing push-ups every morning, running. I wanted to live, because I was also wanting to be a father, wanting to be a husband, and the part of that I wanted to live. And so when this opportunity came to run the marathon, I also wanted to get back into running. My wife and I, especially my wife, but as a parent, you sacrifice a lot. I'm sacrificing sleep. All of my schedule goes to my children. I haven't found a chance to get back to working out. And I have been a very fit person for a lot of my life. And this marathon is going to give me reason to force space to do this, because once I gave my word, once you guys started donating, there was no backing down. I finished. I conked out around mile 22, 23, like everybody says. I'd only run 20 miles up until that point. I think we were supposed to push it to 22, but I started late. I didn't start training till after Thanksgiving, or around Thanksgiving. And if I had started training a month earlier or so, I think when I was supposed to, I would have made it to 22 miles. But you don't ever go the full 26 in your training for whatever reason, I'm told. But I knew enough to like how to keep my toenails safe, to tape up your nipples, because you get rash. If you've never had it on your nipples, it hurts. I got it from surfing, because no one told me to get a rash guard. Those cool bodysuit type things a surfer wears are fucking necessary if you have a hairy chest. Oh my God, it was some of the worst pain I've ever been in. And when you perform and you sweat and you have like abrasions on your chest, we were in Hawaii doing shows, and I got whatever it's called from the board on my chest and my nipples. And then I had to do a show that night, and the sweat poured into those little cuts. Oh my God, the pain. I can still I feel it. Anyway, tape up your nipples, get the right, I was running and I hit a wall at 14 miles, and then my trainer was like, yo, happy birthday to Coach Nye, by the way. She was like, yo, are you eating? I was like, I'm supposed to eat? I'm not even taking water. She's like, you have to take water on the run once you're going over a certain amount of miles. Once you're over 30 minutes, you should be drinking and hydrating and like eating the little gels or peanut butter or banana or something. It's like, man, I gotta fucking be like a camel. I gotta like bring a lunch. I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of running into lunch. So then I was able to get past 14 miles. I got to 20 miles. I was like, cool. So at the day of the race, when I got there, shout out to everybody I saw out there. A lot of, fans, friends. The sense of community was the best part. Other than that, I think it's stupid. I wouldn't do it again unless, there's a greater cause. But I'm writing the check now. I'm proving myself. Some people are like, you're going to get addicted. Not the kid. Certain things in life, like where I'm like, I don't know. I definitely never really, certain, I'm not going to go deep, but things about me that most people do, I just don't get. I didn't care about the medal. I didn't care about the finishing. I had a personal time. I wanted to finish in under 5 hours and 40 minutes. I did it. someone told me to stop, not bring water because they're going to have water every mile. I was like, oh yeah, that's great, because I fell and scratched up my knuckles a couple times holding the bottle. I can't break my fall when I have because it gives you a little finger grip for the water bottle. So I can't break my fall properly. So I just brought some gels, like they're little energy gels that you chew like gummy bears. They have caffeine, glucose, I don't know what the fuck, some shit. I drank hydrated on the week before and then showed up with my music. Music fucked up around mile 20. I think that's another reason I hit a wall at 22. My music was fucked up. I had an 87 song playlist that gave me exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds to finish. 5 hours, 5 hours and 37 minutes to finish. I had 87 something songs ready to go. And then I got to song 60, and then I don't know, the gels or the sweat made the song skip, and then it fucked up my count. So I was pissed. It's all mental, they say, but it was physically like, whoo. Around mile 22, I started walking, and then I was like, my legs felt so funny. You try running for 5 hours and then stopping? My legs felt so crazy. When I did the 20 miles, I didn't even let myself stop. So now I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. How am I going to get to the finish line? Because my legs feel like weird. And it's weird for me because people are like, oh shit, it's Murs. And I'm like, I don't want to get caught by a person like cheering me on and then see me walking. But at mile 22, I was like, man, they got to understand. And of course, as soon as I start walking, someone was like, hey, Murs, good job. You're doing great. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm walking and you saw me. I'm a piece of shit. But my goal was not to walk, finish in under 5:40 to finish, period. And I forgot the other goal at this point. But I hit three. I hit three of them. The only one I didn't do was not to walk. Dope dude, I can't think of his name right now, who met me at mile 23. So I would just walk and run, walk and run, walk and run. The rest of it, then when I got to mile 25.2, someone says 25.2. I was like, I got to run the last mile. And it was uphill, slight incline, and ran across the finish line. It was good for my kids to see. My mother, my stepfather were there. Thank you. My wife, of course, who watched the kids while I trained. And that was my marathon experiment. Yeah, experiment, because it's never been done again. Experience. It was good. The running community is amazing. The people serving the water are amazing. The people who like to do it, it's a great thing. If you like, that's what you like to do. The sense of community, team, shout out to Teamwork, TEAMWRK. If you're looking for someone to train you for a marathon, like virtually, they do a great job. If you're in New York and want to join their run club, it's great. Shout out to Puma, shout out to Marathon, shout out to Jorge, who came out. Shout out to LA Marathon, the McCourt Foundation. I think that's all. Thank you, everybody who donated. That's the long story about the fucking marathon.
Every time I speak, I remind them of what you did. Won't never let them say nothing different. You did it big. You laid to rest and sold out the staples. Proud of your kid. Just know the day we lost you, they felt it across the grid. I heard your mother speak and she put my body at ease. I begged the God to watch over cross any money, please. That every seed you planted in life, they grow like trees. Just know that you brought peace in these states and overseas. I seen you in your casket, everything on you glowing. Just looking like you sleeping and headed to where you going. You on your victory lap and you running, everything blowing. You told them never fold and you didn't, that's what they doing. I'm feeling like I'm selfish cause I ain't wanna accept it. But one thing that's expected is make them niggas respect it. Any nigga speaking on you, it's understood. I'ma ride for you like you would for me, that's on hood. Good. All these days I cry, you come back home.
I found my why was that when Nipsey called and said, I'd have to call him and say, yo, I want to do this. He called me. And so when he or the organization called out for people to support, I was like, there needs to be at least one rapper out here answering this call. Like he answered my call when I put out the thing for pay dues and he showed up. So I wanted to show up for him. I wanted to, I think this is good for, I look homeless. It's good for people to see someone like me exercising and, like I said, changing, even though I'm not a Rasta, changing the view that some people have. That to me, that's what real Rasta meant to me growing up. Like livity, like uplifting, eating healthy, being healthy. Smoking weed does not make you unhealthy. If you're healthy, if you're eating right, living right, and thinking positively. So I wanted, kids to see that. I wanted my kids to see that, especially as Latino, like black people are familiar with Rastas. You probably know a fit Rasta or two, or you know kind of what Rasta's about. But someone immigrating from Ecuador or El Salvador or Michoacan, like they may not know. And the only people they see with dreads and full beards are people that are houseless or, you know, begging or whatever. And I'm training. And I love that, like, especially up in the morning, like abuela walking her dog and getting a wave to them and smile at them. Like, it's, you know, it was just about, to me, the city, the culture. A lot of rappers can say they run the city, but I legitimately ran the city. And I'm going to leave it at that. The city's name is LA. I think it's fitting. It's all God's timing perfectly. I hated this beat. I hated this beat. But we I agreed early on that I don't know shit about beats. That's why I came to him, because my best friend told me to get beats from him. So I'm getting beats from him. He knows beats. I'm going to let him pick the beats. And we set out to do, he wrote a post, if you go back and look at Knife Wonder's post for the 20th anniversary of 316, he wrote a post and he says that we were trying to do Desert Kid for the first time. I think the first time we would go into an album and say, we're going to make this album, our version of this album. I think the first 316 was supposed to be the infamous and America's Most. But a West Coast dude rapping over boom bap beats. We knew that part. With the grimy, like the Animal type of darker feel. And I think that's where we came with. But something I've been saying this whole time is when you have two people who are knowledgeable and passionate about the culture, it's synergistic. He understood, I understood what that meant, and we made something, and no one else, you can't listen to that album or really figure it out. And I didn't think I'd be able to figure out what this album was supposed to be, but this album was supposed to be ATLiens and Death Certificate. Dream Chaser gives you the Death Certificate vibe, especially with the flat line and the death and the story, and that is there if you know Death Certificate. To me, Death Certificate is the most important hip-hop album of all time. Not my favorite, not the most important, because it was prophetic. It came out October, I think, 29th, 1991. 6 months later, the LA riots, I think April 29th, 1992, the civil unrest, the rebellion, the riots, whatever you call it, happened. And a lot of what he talked about, now, whether he dictated that, but like, I feel like that sentiment was already there. But a lot of what he talks about happened, and there's not really a record that's like that in rap. Whether he dictated the culture and fueled the riots, I don't think so. But you could, devil's advocate, you could say some shit like that. But he was so in tune with what was going on in our community that it happened. Again, this album was supposed to be ATLiens. Why do I say that? This reminds me of Elevators. It also reminds me of, like, what the fuck? If you had Southern Playalistic, ATLiens wasn't the next logical step. What, like when you heard Elevators, like the first single after you hear, I don't know, like, well, I was playing like Crumbling Herb.
Yes, sir. Let me dig into your brain. Folks falling like rain. Poverty got me selling things. Guess I'm gonna explain. Jane is rolled up, no gangs, beats rolled up. But still, Andre got action. They sweat like keep all of my teeth. I take it upon myself to handle.
Yeah. Like, it was new. Wow, the way Andre looked, the album cover. Like, holy shit. It was amazing. But, like, we said when me and my nigga wrote the Martyr.
One for the money, yes sir, two for the show. A couple of years ago, on Headland and the Low, what's the starter? Something good, where me and my nigga rode the Martyr through the hood.
I had no idea what kind of car is a Martyr? Like, what? The Martyr is, you talking about Jesus? I didn't know what the fuck. Then I got to Atlanta, I was like, oh, the Martyr, it's a fucking bus.
Where me and my nigga rode the Martyr.
Like, it told me about Atlanta, and when I got into it, like, they described this world that I've now felt that when they say Peachtree and Buckhead, Bankhead, like, before Atlanta rap was what it is, they were creating this world for me and everyone listening. But for me, because I traveled, like when I started touching down and being like, oh shit, this is a street that was great. The way Common would do it, you know, you was a gump, we take your shit, either fight or break for it. We go to the lake and get my drink then was Rooms of Red Bull. I remember swimming in Avalon and peeing in the pool, like Avalon, going to Chicago to do the Netherworlds album and seeing things that Common talking about. I rap heavy like an old man with a cold can of old style.
I breathe heavy like an old man with a cold can of old style. Hold a stone owl profile, mixed between Malcolm X and Seth when I go wild.
Hold a Stone Owl profile. Oh, Stony Island, old style beer where they don't carry that in LA. So I'm like, I want an old style. I want to go to a Cubs game and have an old style because Common and baseball and hip hop became a part of American culture and bringing us into Black America, bringing me into Black America. I wanted to make that song. Ice-T has a song called Half Past Midnight on OG, Original Gangster, that one of the best albums ever made. And he said, something, we was deep in the Hoover hood. I'm like, oh shit, motherfuckers is naming gangs and streets. I'm like, this is us using oral tradition for what it's for. Historic storytelling, history, actual history. I didn't feel like everyone that made a song about LA wasn't really from LA. Like, I'm born and raised. My mother is born and raised. My mother went to LAI. You know, we've owned and operated a business in South Central for 70 years. Like, I'm a LA baby if I'm nothing else. So Ninth tells me he gives me these beats and I'm like, oh my God, this beat sucks, bro. And I'm begging him, as we talked about last week. He's like, you got to do it. So I can tell you where I was standing. I paced in these hotels. And I'm playing the beat off my Apple laptop, pacing. And I'm like, man, this nigga's gonna pick me up and I don't have shit to say this funky ass beat. So I'm listening and like I you know, to break the stereotype, I said something recently online. I'm not even gonna get into it. But contrary to popular beliefs, motherfuckers, I don't smoke weed. I didn't hear Bob Marley till I was in high school. I grew dreads because of Big Daddy Kane. I grew the Nyabingi like crazy locks because of my homeboy Hanok, who's Ethiopian from Inglewood, who's also not a Rasta, or it wasn't at the time, I don't believe. I don't really have an affinity for dance hall or reggae. I don't know. I know Toots and the Maitals. I can't name one song by them. I can't name you a Steel Pulse or Black Uhuru song. I am a skateboarding, fake Crip, comic book reading, Dodger loving LA motherfucker, bro. I don't speak patois, none of that shit. I go to the Slauson swap meet. I eat Fat Burger, bro. Like, I don't know none of that shit. But the beat is by the Mighty Diamonds. Also, these kids I meet from Atlanta, Supreme, like one of them is Jamaican. He's Jamaican, and he starts putting me up on Twins and all the Rasta Jamaican shit, dance hall, Capleton, like Sizzla, and I'm loving it and explaining it to me because I don't know it. Enough respect to my boy Dogon Ora, who is always like, you know, been Rasta, and he's been influenced in like being able to translate some of it for me. I don't get it. But so I'm listening to this lady patois like, no matter what the future may bring. No matter what the future might bring. And it's ironic. The irony is that Bad Man was one of our biggest songs. That was a reggae sample. And this is another. I think both of them are Mighty Diamonds. So I'm hearing her say, I don't know if that's what she's saying, or is it he or she, They're saying no matter what the future may bring. And I was like, man. And my whole thing is, I'm going to fix this nigga. I'm going to write a song about L.A. over his North Carolina-ass beats. I'm going to show you, no matter what the future may bring, I'm from L.A., motherfucker. No matter what, nothing is ever going to change that. And that is what I went with. I was like, I don't know if I love anything more outside my family and God than, like, you know, this city. You know, hip-hop, I guess, but this is like a time for me to rep for my city. I don't feel like it's ever been done. For somebody who really loves the city, who was born and raised, and like I said, I really be outside doing all the LA shit. You know, you see me at the Dodger games, you see me at the Galaxy matches, you see me at the LAFC if they're playing the Galaxy, and I'm walking through all sides of it because I don't get into that shit. Like, if you love LAFC, you love the Galaxy, you love LA, and you love soccer, like, cool. We can argue and joke and fuck and fight, you know, and not fight. I don't want to fight, but if I was younger, I'd fight, you know, whatever. It's fun. Let's rumble. Let's, whatever it is, but not, if we wanted to kill each other, we'd fucking join a gang. Stop the bullshit, bro. Let's have a beer when whoever loses, the other person's going to need a beer. Let's go have a beer at a local brewery and support more LA shit. I love this city. All fat, Chicano, Pinoy, Thai Town, like running through the city, seeing the Thai Town, like everybody come out. All the different aspects of LA, the Jewish culture here, the Armenian culture. There's so much amazing culture here. And I was a kid that took the bus everywhere and just went through all of it, moved around. And so I love, and that's why I wanted to shout out Pasadena, Altadena, and meeting dudes from Pasadena, Denver Lane, the Bloods, meeting Crips from Altadena Block, going to John Muir, going to the Turkey Tussle, you know, going to Kings Manor, Kings Village or whatever back in the day, going to the Boys and Girls Club in Fair Oaks, like going to Boys and Girls Club in wherever the fuck in the east side of LA, like just, I was all over this motherfucker from the beach to San Gabriel to San Fernando Valley. No one had done it right to me. So this is it.
I'm from L.A. California A hot. Days got shade. Let me take you round the way. A lot of out-of-towners can't handle this city where you wear the wrong color and it can get tricky. But that was 86 and things done changed. We a lot more evolved with the way that we bang. Not the rips and the dogs, man, the smog might kill you. But you ain't gotta worry if you're staying north of Wilshire. Don't be scared of Crenshaw, the Slauson Super Mall, or Earl's Hot Dogs, man, you gotta do it, y'all. Come on.
I'm from L.A. California A hot. That was hard for me to say because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. But it just came out. I was like, I'm banging. At this point, I'm banging. I'm like, man, I'm about to bang all night. I'm mad. I gotta rap this beat. When you get mad, when you get angry, when you get scared is where you crip out or blood out, where you become a gangster. That's where the tough guy shit comes in. So fuck it. I'm mad. I'm pissed. I'm gonna bang the hood for everybody. In this basement with a bunch of motherfuckers that aren't from LA, I'm banging once again. I'm back the next year, pushing my line. California A hot. Ugh. It came natural like Hustle, hustler. I'm spelling hustle, but I say hustler because it rhymes with motherfucker. Like making decisions that are better for the song and in tune with the spirit, then it makes sense. Because California A hot days got like splitting a sentence over a bar. Me and Rec have talked about the Recognize from Mayday Shout Them. We've talked about that. Like that's lame. That's California A hot. Days got shade. Let me take you round the way. Mentioned stand at the bus stop sucking a lollipop last song. Next song I'm talking about, let me take you round the way. Tell me I don't love LL.
Let's hear it for the girls who's from around the way.
I remember where I was when I bought Mama Said Knock You Out Target in Pasadena on Colorado. And I begged my mama to get me Mama Said Knock You Out. And those are the days where that's a classic album to me. But when I go back, I have it on vinyl. I got the Punisher cover. I play it for my kids. Like Milky Cereal on that album, Mr. Goodbar. Those aren't great songs, but it's a classic album to me because I had no choice. I had a cassette player. I had to listen to the songs because I didn't want to waste my battery. It wasn't bad enough. That's how bad a song had to be on a classic album It could be a classic album or a tape or something with no skips or playthroughs because you didn't want to waste the batteries it took to fast forward. Is this song bad enough for me to fast forward?
Ooh, yeah. Hey, yo, man. Ain't nothing like a nice bowl of cornflakes in the morning to smooth you out. Milky, cereal, baby. Milky, cereal, milky, cereal, baby. Milky, cereal.
And we can spiral off into this and like how this culture of like, yo, like, is this show bad enough for me to get up and turn the channel before you had a thing? Like, it took some temperament, and I think that's why I don't know. I feel like marriage and relationships lasted longer, maybe a little bit back then, possibly, because you're like, is this bad enough for me to like quit the relationship? Like, you had some tolerance, and you learned to love things. Like, I love Milky Cereal to this day. I won't argue that it's a great song, but I love it because I made myself listen to it because I didn't want to waste the batteries in my Walkman fast forwarding about it because it's still LL. I love his voice. The beat is dope. It's not the best song, but fuck it. That was the era. And I think it taught tolerance and temperament and, I guess accepting subpar shit, but whatever. Let me take you around the way. A lot of out-of-towners can't handle this city. You wear the wrong color and it can't get tricky. That was 86. Things done changed. We a lot more evolved with the way that we bang. You've heard that, Crips, but this is still news to people. When I'm in the studio talking to people from North Carolina or meeting people and they're asking me, what's LA like? I'm like, yeah, like nobody really wears all red and all blue anymore. Like, yeah, like there are Crips, but it's more about where you're from, not what color, what you're from, It's about what set. Wear the wrong color and it can't get tricky. But that was 86 and that was Dream Chaser verse 1. Things done changed. We a lot more involved with the way we bang, not the rips and the dogs. Man, the smog might kill you. Like you could get shot just like a homeboy said on Mobb Deep, just for breathing. For real though. Like, who knows? But you ain't gotta worry if you're staying north of Wilshire, which is where Legends Barbershop was. That's the borderline, man. That was like the last black thing on that side of L.A. Once you got past Wilshire, you're not getting any more black businesses or black. You're just going north to Beverly, whatever, North Hollywood, Fairfax, whatever. So if you're up north, and that's where all of like the Mondrian, all these hotels were, the Beverly Center, where all the rappers would stay and say they were in L.A. and outside, and they weren't really. They stretch it and come to Pico, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, going north of Wilshire. And that was also based on Livid Legends had a little run where we were meeting with labels late 90s. And one of the A&Rs started telling us stories about how the East Coast, West Coast beef started. And they're like, nah, like don't let New Yorkers there are New York rappers that I work with that I would be on, in limos with, and they didn't know where I was from. I'm just a label person. So they would talk freely. They get drunk and high and they start talking. They used to call LA niggas slow. They used to be on Hollywood Boulevard saying, New York runs this city, blah, blah, blah. And she'd be like, yeah, but you're kind of on Hollywood Boulevard, bro. And so that always put a battery in my back. I was like, oh, these niggas be out here talking shit, And like my little homies, like, I would tell them too, like a couple rappers have gotten the pass because of me. I'm like, yo, like, hey, we saw such and such at the Beverly Center, cuz I'm like, bro, come on, man. You gotta let rappers be rappers, man. It got so bad, like they were talking about beating up the Brat. And I was like, bro, what are you doing, bro? What are we doing? We gonna beat up the Brat? Yeah, we banged on that bitch. I'm like, well, but why? But because motherfuckers were wearing bandanas and baggy pants and shit like that. And, it invites this thing. And that taught me early, like, man, like when I got to Chicago, the homies like, wear your hat straight. Yep. Not wearing shit. Man, don't roll up your pants. Don't fucking keep the backpack on both straps. Yep. You got it. There's just certain things. So, like red or blue, but who knows? That's what the smog might kill. Like motherfuckers just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. That was that line about the smog might kill you, but you ain't got to worry if you're staying up to Wilshire. Don't be scared of Crenshaw. Like, come correct and come hang out with us, bro. But, leave the jewelry and all the... when you come to L.A., watch them loud-ass colors, bro. Like, just be respectful.
In the East, we can be brothers
But when you come to LA, watch them loud ass colors. What's
Front, back, side to side, we be giving it up to the day we die.
Don't be scared of Crenshaw, the Slauson Super Mall, or Earl's Hot Dogs. You got to do it, y'all. Earl's Hot Dog. It was started as a cart. It's Dwayne and Carrie, his two brothers from New York. Their mother is amazing. God bless her. This is before my time, but one of my OG homies or OG dude I know, not my OG, but an OG dude I know, was telling me he used to go there to LA for various purposes at the Crenshaw swap meet that used to be on King, couple, like 1 or 2 blocks, 1 block west of Crenshaw. There was a huge building. We talked about it before. Crondon had a store in there selling T-shirts where you get your Bart Simpson T-shirts. Maranatha Church is a little shopping center in L.A. The Flying Fox or whatever I think is there. James Woods is still performing. But he used to sell hot dogs out of his cart. He used to sell Venice Beach in there. I believe the older brother came first. He was supposed to be an engineer. He moved out here and got the idea to start selling hot dogs. As his mom, if you ever go in there, mom hopefully will tell you the story. That's their story to tell, but it's hilarious and how proud and happy and upset she was. Because the young man was brilliant, had an engineering degree, and chose to do this. Refurbished a hot dog cart and started selling hot dogs. Eventually got a brick and mortar, which is on Crenshaw, Lamert Park, right by where the new train station is. I believe it's Taco Mel's now. But that used to be there. So then when I started going there, I heard about that. His brother, Dwayne, who came out here, I think that's the brother, if I'm getting it right. And Dwayne was a rapper. And I was with the big homie, the OG homie, and I was showing him, he was like, wait, that's still there? Hey, do he still be rapping? He's like, we used to buy food from him behind Crenshaw Swap Meet because he was clean. His cart was immaculate. His shoes were immaculate. And the story goes like he used to pay them in order to sell things there. They used to clean the whole parking lot. Like he put so much pride into this hot dog cart and into his service, him and his brother, that they made the parking lot cleaner. And then like my big homie, he doesn't, they don't know each other, but he was just a customer. He said, we felt comfortable buying, if you had talked to black people, we ain't going to eat no food off the street. That's some new shit. And maybe some New York shit. But LA, like my mama, somebody cooking something on the street, my nigga, no, we are not eating that. What grade do they got? Before there's a grade, like what? Like you go to my house, you look in their kitchen before you eat their food. Or that if someone brings something, people didn't eat certain people's dishes at potlucks and stuff if they knew your house was dirty. I am not about to eat something off of so to get black people, like my OG, the first thing he said was like, yeah, he always had his shoes clean, his shirt was white. We knew that his food was good and the hot dogs were fire. This is 40 years ago, I think. Transformed to a big brick and mortar in Lamert Park. And back, even they were on the wave of we don't eat swine. That's a big thing in the black community, post Public Enemy, for the woke, conscious black community especially.
At Mom's Cookouts, I'm leaving the swine.
But even E40 is rapping about some grits and turkey sausage for my liver. Like,
I wake up every morning to a shot of liquor, a shoebox full of herb and some grits and turkey sausage for my liver, selling units out the trunk of my car.
We were off port, from the Bloods and Crips, D boys to the Rastas and Muslims, my Muslim brothers. So they had turkey dogs. It's the only place you could really get turkey dogs with turkey chili, bro. Are you crazy? Turkey chili? I'm about to get Earls today. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I can't even do this podcast without going to get some. God dog it. Oh man, yeah, turkey chili, bro. So someone said Earls. I was like, okay. And Mama Rappers outside. And there's one, we got into a little problem with some rappers. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to Earls. They just like, I went up to meet these individuals. I'm like, look, I heard y'all looking for me. Mike Epps always said, no, y'all looking for me. Y'all, I'm looking for them. They looking for me. We get down like a motherfucking scrap right now in the parking lot. I was like, hey, bro, like, you guys are tough as fuck. I heard you want to kill me or beat me up. I'm gonna be all up and through y'all neighborhood. Like, what is it gonna be? I can't look over my shoulder. If y'all gonna beat me up, just beat me up now. And the OG just looked at me and laughed. He like, nah, cuz you could. I just like, bro, like, I'm not going to Earls. I'm not going to the Slauson. I'm not going nowhere, bro. I got my goddaughters. I'm gonna be with my you know, not they're not my daughter, my nieces. I'm gonna be with these little girls. Like, I can't have you shooting out my windows, bro. Like, whatever it is, do it to me now, so I can just be about my business, bro. I don't like hearing that you want to do something to me. It's not cool. But what I teach my sons every day is when you're scared, that's okay. And I wasn't told that. I had to learn that. We talked about last week about me getting whoopings and shit. Like, I was scared, but when my mom said, come in the room, I had to walk in the room and take it. And when I got older, I had to be like, look, you know, when I was too big for my mom to put her hands on me, I didn't bully my mother and say, I'm not going to smoke weed. I said, I'm smoking weed. If I'm grounded, I'm grounded. That's how I had to move out. If I'm going to the studio. You can't physically keep me in this house. I'm going to go rap. So if that means you're going to change the locks or lock me out, I got to sleep on the porch or sleep at the homie house, that's fine. If you're going to put me out, that's fine. I learned to be accountable. I didn't learn not to be scared. I don't know how you learn not to be scared. It's a survival mechanism. So when I got scared and heard these real for real gangbangers said they were going to kill me, I'm like, well, who, from where? Where? Y'all going to be here? I'm walking up to you, bro. Because I'm scared. I'm going to take action to be brave. You cannot be brave if you're not fearful. And that's what I teach my sons. Okay, you're scared. That's okay. This is an opportunity to be brave. And I've had opportunities to be brave, and I've been a coward. I've chickened out. I've punked out. But when that time arises, and it hasn't been a time in my life where I haven't got a second chance, I knew when I came to that situation the next time, I'm not going to like the way I feel if I back down from this. Sometimes, we talked about on the podcast, you can buy another plate. Sometimes buying another plate and letting someone disrespect you, you can't live with that. I've become a man, and I know what I can live with, and I know what I can't live with. And I want my sons to learn that as soon as possible. Because you can live with a whole lot. And what you can't live with is still a little bit of ego. You should work to shrink that at all times, and I'm trying. But there's certain things I can't live with. I can't live looking over my shoulder. I got tired of trying to hide the report card. I got a D. I got a 0.5 GPA. This is what it is. What do you want to do about it? I got to eat that. Cool. Take it on the chin like a Baby Boy. When Omar Gooden is like, chunk it up, cuz, let's go. You. And the little dude puts his chin up. Like, you got to learn to put your chin up. Put chin up, tits out, chest out, however you say it. Take it. Let's go.
Don't flinch. Don't move or I hit you with two. Chuck that shit up. Chuck it up, little nigga. Oh!
So when I say I'm scared, yeah, I can say I'm scared because I've learned to I could have died that night. So many nights I could have died. That's just one of the stories I can share and will share. And I won't even share that full story. But that is I'm not going to run from you, motherfucker. Like, nah. If I can, great. Like, I don't have to go, but I'm not. Look, man, like, I'm not taking my nieces to the park. I'm not taking them to Sloss in the shop. I'm not going to go Target on Obama and whatever. I'm not going to not go to Target. I'm not going to not go nowhere because you got an imaginary problem with me or a real problem that we could talk about. I can apologize, whatever, man. Like, so he laughed. And that's a lot of time. Like, a lot of times people like, let weird cuz go, man. Let rollerblading cuz go. Like, what was that nigga crazy, man? That's me. That's me. So that's how much I love Earl's. I wasn't not going to go to Earl's no more. Then they went to Jack's Chili on Crenshaw. They also had, Jack's used to have the ground turkey with rice and beans, spicy turkey chili with rice and beans with fucking American cheese slices melted on the top in the microwave. Oh, my dude. I'm tears. In a little styrofoam container. There's so many bad things for my body and the earth in that sentence, but oh man. And a strawberry soda in a can. We talked about the soda collection. Sprite. Then they started getting Players Punch when Earl's bought. So then Earl's bought Jack's Chili. It was on Crenshaw and Exposition. And in moving and staying in the community, that's their mother, Dwayne and Carrie are such a wealth of information on real estate, politics. I talked to his mom. I was supposed to be having a business meeting. And me and the guy I was having a business meeting that I've been trying to have a business meeting with for 6 months. We stopped and listened to her for 2 hours because she told me things about this city and about the political climate and the electoral process and the real estate and who owns what. Man, there's so much value to elders in this community. And when I go in there, so Dwayne, the younger brother, and we get to, I used to love a remake. You'll hear us talking about him at the end, but he rapped to me. And he was telling me that back when Aaron Crenshaw, he was from New York in the 80s. And he's like, the rapping just wasn't up to par. And I was explaining to my sons as we watched Star Wars how this was the introduction to graffiti because we weren't able to travel to New York and they weren't putting graffiti magazines together. There was no, Star Wars was really important, I'm sure, to a lot of people starting graffiti. And I understood that as I saw it. But that's why tagging and graffiti didn't become what it was until 10 years or so after that, I believe, in full force. And the West Coast becoming a force of power and change in the rap and graffiti because we were learning everything without the speed of the internet and making it our own. He started rapping and he was like, man, I was tearing motherfuckers up. This was a joke to me out here, you know? Not that way. I'm paraphrasing. He was a lot more respectful than that. But he was like, then they said there's this cat named Microphone Mike. And he was walking across the parking lot. I said, that's him? I said, hey, man, we got a battle. As soon as I finished with this hot dog, we got a battle. He said, we rap. He said, Murs, we cut a rap for 3 hours. And just hearing that this man that I respect so much as a businessman, just a kind person, he's always so kind to my kid. The customer service is amazing. He's providing healthy alternatives for the community. He's doing so much. Him and Micah, Microphone Mike is Micah 9. Micah 9 rapping against each other in the 80s is just mind-blowing. He leveled me. And he still, that's why I tell people, when I stop recording and writing raps, I'm never not going to be a rapper. He gives me a 16 when I go in there all the time, bro. While he's making my food, he's giving me a 16 because he's an MC, he's hip-hop. Oh. Eventually, he does, if you heard Wicked by Ice Cube, that's him doing the hook because he's Trinidadian.
Kick it, cause I you know the wicked. Ice Cube and touch a famous on, yes, them wicked. If you got the mic and bust up the clown, yes, them wicked. All of them gal with the sound. My name is Santiago and Ice Cube, we run the town. Wicked, look at the way y'all lick it, I'm wicked.
And he got it signed to Priority as Don Jaguar. All while still running this business with his brother, I believe, and his mother, who eventually came out to help. This is why I love Earls. This is stories like that is why I love my city. And just, I love, like, he's an OG and like now they cater my baby shower and Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids party, Northwest birthday party. Like, they do everything now. If you're black, no matter what spectrum of black you are in LA, you're treated with respect. You know, there's people, women with mental health, like, my mom was like, I know when days I can talk to her and offer her food and when she doesn't. And when she doesn't want to talk to me, I don't give her any food. But as soon as I don't not ask her because there's days when she wants something and I can feed her and I will. This is just the respect in the community. I always want to, and this is part of the oral tradition, telling these stories. So if you decide to go to Earl's, this is why you should go. The food is excellent. The service is excellent, but they are excellent to us, meaning the community, meaning their customers, black, white, brown. I see all kind of people in there. And I make sure to take all kind of people. I took Sarah Dope there. I take everybody there.
Don't be scared of Crenshaw, the Slauson Super Mall, or Earl's Hot Dogs, man. You gotta do what y'all. Come on.
Anyway, come to the hood where we do the most good. I had no idea that that's the Salvation Army slogan. Magic Johnson be owning everything like he should. I don't like Magic Johnson as a basketball player. I have my issues I'd like to talk to him personally about. I can't find this commercial. Somebody sent it to me, and I think I can dig it up, but it's hard to find. The Magic Johnson Theaters opened in whatever fucking year. It used to be the Baldwin Hill. I saw a house party at the Baldwin Theater. It's so crazy when motherfuckers question my hood or like, I'm really from here, bro. I saw a house party on a Sunday after church, going to church on Dinker and going after church to go to see house party at the Baldwin Hills Theater on fucking at the bottom of the fucking jungles. Don't play with me, man. So sometime after that, so maybe 90-something, 92, 93, I think it's post the uprising, they built the Magic Johnson Theater. And I'm just now saying theater, but theater, I say theater, someone corrected me and I finally got it. The movie theaters they built, and before the movie came on, it would say, make a Magic Johnson Cinema. We don't have to wear our colors in here. We can come together as a community and you know, Magic Johnson talk. Take off our ball caps. We don't have to wear our colors. So that was the intro.
Before each show, he runs a little film telling why he built the theater and how he wants everyone to enjoy it.
This theater is a local effort, and you're a part of the team. We're a community, and we respect each other. So if you have a problem, leave it in the street.
Remember, many middle-class African Americans don't have a movie house in their neighborhood. Investors are leery, not magic. He knew there was opportunity going where few others have been wise enough to go. Now 1.3 million moviegoers stream through an immaculate theater with not a stroke of graffiti on the outside.
When I tell you that this is what gangbanging was, and as another, like, I'm there seeing this intro, bro. Like, I'm gonna stop responding to these people, but I'm not from here, bro. Like, I saw Blood is Thicker Than Water, the Fat Joe and Mac 10 film. This is why I wanted to make Walk Like Man. I love hip hop. I love urban culture. I love black culture. I'm seeing this movie in the theater. I saw Blood is Thicker Than Water starring Fat Joe and Mac 10 on the big screen at the Magic Johnson Theater. Only time I never went in, we went on opening night for I Got the Hookup because they filmed part of that at My Mom's Cleaners, the Master P movie with A.J. Johnson. God bless him, rest in peace. And me and my brother got out of the car. We saw so much red. We were like, this is out of respect, we were going to go somewhere else because this is not for our team tonight. We tucked it up. We rolled it up that night for sure. It's just what we got. We couldn't even get off when you park up top, it was so packed. The parking lot's probably parked up top. We were just about to hit that stairwell. I was like, man, we might not make it to the bottom of this stairwell without, you just might, I'm not, that's, you talking about getting scared. It's just like, okay, we got scared and we made a decision. There was a night. I was like, well, it wasn't as much scared as just observation. Like, probably not the night for two people who like to say, especially when we're together. Like, we start laughing, it's gonna be, cuz, like, that's definitely happening. Why even ruin their cinema experience? Sorry about that. With us and our poor choice in words and colors to them. They wouldn't let us shoot part of the video. They wouldn't let us use the Magic Johnson Theater image in the LA video. Had to blur out the jersey, so I go all through this trouble shouting dude out, and then this is what happens. And that's why sometimes you never go against your gut. I should have just been like, fuck it. I could have wore a Kirk Gibson jersey or something. I should have wore a Bo Kimball jersey. Fucking Norm Nixon, he played for both squads. Live and learn. But God bless that man. Moving on.
Come to the hood where we do the most good. Magic Johnson be owning everything like he should. Linwood, Long Beach, Hawthorne, Gardena, from the towers in Watts to the hills of Altadena.
Linwood, Long Beach, Hawthorne, Gardena, places that never get shouted out. Linwood, the city next to Compton and Watts that everybody forgets about. There's Southgate too, where Mark Gonzalez is from. I mentioned that in Skating in the City. Hawthorne. If you don't have somebody in front of you, say Hawthorne. That's how you say it in Ebonics or whatever you want to call it. My cousin lived in Hawthorne. Gardena. Enclaves of Black LA that never got a lot of mention, so I wanted to shout them out. My DJ Hydro's from Hawthorne. Hawthorne, Gardena. From the towers in Watts to the hills of Altadena. The home of the traffic and gangbang culture. Hope the Way We Do the Damn Thing was popular at the time, I think. Hope the Way We Do the Damn Thing, don't assault you. I'm from LA. Southern California, fool, the West Coast, where everybody is somebody. The game is fame, do everything with a bang. And everybody want to know what set you claim. Yeah, that's it. Everything is banging. Whether you're dancing, breaking. I understood that after my fight on a promenade with somebody I rap battled. And he's in a group home. The next week I saw him. And he was with some dudes from his group home. And then this dude is a Latino gangbanger, essay, whatever, like, hey, Holmes, you rap jump my homie. I was like, a rap jump? My nigga, what are we talking about? I went, rap? What? And that was he got aggressive with me. And then I was in my thrift store, army fatigue thing with a my dreads, a beadie behind my ear, some Rod Laver Adidas, the white and green ones with the red, gold, and green laces. I was trying to be peaceful. I'm looking at the ground, and when he hit me with that energy, like rap jump Holmes, and he hit me with the Holmes, I said, I lost it. And then I became cuz a nigga from there. And just, it's just a culture of aggression. Everything is banging. Whether you're rap, if you're good at something, eventually, back in my era, you were going to have to fight. There's not a basketball player who could hoop. Like, we didn't have the community that a lot of people have where, we keep him safe because this is our meal ticket. It didn't really happen like that. Like, Ice Cube fought solo. Ice Cube hopped out the car on solo, who was reputable and the OG. That's how I heard the story. You know what I mean? He got beat up, but you fight. There's nobody fighting for you type of shit. DJ Quick, when I get to the award show, like DJ Quick, like my favorite rappers got down. Like I heard about Ice Cube fighting with King Son, fighting with Above the Law, fight. Like you got to get down. And I thought I was going to escape on some Rasta shit. Nope. I was 16 years old and I found out like no matter what you do, if you're good at it and you're going to compete, you're going to have to get down. I quit a tagging crew because I was like, I don't want to get shot and beat up over tagging. I would have been a Crip. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I getting bust out of a neighborhood with all my friends that are gangbangers to start a tagging crew? I'll just die for my neighborhood if I'm going to die or if I'm going to fight. Then I learned everything is banging. We at the club, Majestics, Down to Earth, all these dancing crews, they're going to fight. And I don't know if it's everywhere. All I can speak on is LA and my sector of LA, maybe, but if you're the best football team, like you're going to fight. If you see from my era, if you see a professional sports player, they got hands. I'm almost sure of it. Because you dunk on somebody at the park and they can't dunk back on you. It's a fight. That's it. Now it could be a shooting. That's another reason I stopped battling. I'm like, I want to make art. I don't want to have a culture. I want to elevate this culture out of competition. Now that Spotify's talking about rap as competition. No, it's fucking not. It's a culture. It's an art form. We compete within this art form, but that is not at the central core of this culture. That is not what it is because it goes back to Africa and griots and all that stuff. You can say what you want. It's been a part of the culture for a long time, maybe since the beginning, but it's not the fulcrum. It is not, competition is not it. Fame and clout is. Biz Markie is not known for battling people. Watch the Biz documentary. But he had clout because he was good. He could rock the party. Kool Herc didn't start the party in his basement for a battle. Do everything with a bang. Tag banging, dance banging, sports banging, everything. Even we went to a Christian rap show one time, and the dudes on stage, we were like, my homie was heckling him. He was like, "Hey, Holmes, we could go outside right now, and I'll beat your ass. I'll beat you down in the name of Jesus, Holmes. I'll pick you up and hug you because you're my brother in Christ." Everything from our generation, we are banging it. That was it. You have to be ready to fight if you're going to be outside. My cousin is the first generation breaking that curse, and I deal with it all the time. I've made some silly things. My cousin, shout once again, Chris Bowers, he just won an Oscar for his short film, The Last Repair Shop. See it on Disney Plus. It's powerful. It's amazing.
And the Oscar goes to The Last Repair Shop. Ben Proud.
Wow, thank you so much to the Academy. This is incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much. The Last Repair Shop is about the heroes in our schools who often go unsung, unthanked, and unseen. Tonight, you are sung, you are thanked, and you are seen. Thank you all so much for what you do. John Williams inspired me to become a composer. He went to LA Public Schools. I went to LA Public Schools. This is Portia Brinker. She's 12 years old. She's learning to play violin in LA Public Schools. She looks amazing tonight. And LA is one of the last cities in America to give public school students free and freely repaired instruments. And we need to fix that because music education isn't just about creating incredible musicians. It's about creating incredible humans. We want to thank Searchlight, LA Times, Breakwater Studios, Edall Studios, every human who poured their heart into this film. I want to thank my mom and dad, and also to my wife, Brianna, and our daughter, Coda. I love you, I love you, I love you.
He scored the Bob Marley movie as well. My cousin is the shit. But he's great at the piano, and I don't think he had to fight for it. I'm proud of that. but I'm gonna fight for him. That's another thing too. He never had. I told him that one time when he was coming up and doing like session work. I said, "Who said what to you and what session?" I was like, "Man, you gotta start bringing me these sessions, bro. I ain't about to let no rapper say no shit like that to you. I'll smack the shit out that motherfucker." I just like they're still a part of me. They're still a very part of me. But he grew up off of Crenshaw in Washington, very active area. But his parents took him where he needed to go, and he kept his nose clean and practiced his craft, and he did great things. So I think this generation, God blessed him after that. You could be good at something and just be good at it. And I like that a lot. And I'm trying to make sure my kids experience that. My uncle and aunt have set a great example on how to break the cycle in this savage city.
I'm from LA, Southern California through the West Coast, where everybody is somebody and the game is fame. Do everything with the bang and everybody wanna know what set you claim. I'm from LA.
Where the game is fame, Hollywood. Do everything with the bang and everybody wanna know what set you claim. I'm from LA. And I don't think anyone loves LA as much as my Latino brothers and sisters. And I think this is the step for me establishing that fan base. I didn't know that. When I went up, there was like equal parts brown, black, and white at Dodger games, Clipper game, Lakers games, all that stuff. But now it seems that most people, the most proud Angelinos, I guess as Los Angeles, and it's in the name, are Latino folks. And me being proud of LA I think that's part of opening how my demographic changed. And the demographic of the city changed. Demographic of people who cared about real hip hop changed. I grew up going to Unity, seeing Wu-Tang, Pharoah Monch, Common, Beating Us, all that. It was 90% black. Seeing Smith & Wesson at their album release party. I don't recall seeing one white person that didn't work for a label or one Latino person. I don't have any Latino friends I used to go. We had Filipino homies. And I'm sure they were there. They're just not in my circle. It wasn't. Now it's like the crowd is predominantly brown. If we have to put a color to it to make it American. But in me, like I'm talking Mi Linda Cochina, like I can kind of see where it wasn't a conscious effort. It's just me being who I am. And me working at the clean. I worked at my parents' cleaners on Central and Adams. As South Central became a lot more Latino. The girls I'm working the counter with, we listen to La X every day. Listening to Banda and all kind of stuff.
La X, 97.9.
Y esta va para todas aquellas que son como una chica que yo conozco. Una novia yo tengo, es muy linda y traviesa.
I'm using my little fucking ninth grade Spanish 3, saying vestido and camisa and, planchar and lavar and, all these things. It's just part of who I am at this point. And this song, of course, it resonates, and then I started hanging out with some of my Latino friends. Their mothers love Jesus and cook for, and they're like, mijo, come here. Like, that's how my mom was with every boy in my neighborhood. I'd be like, my mom, like, Mom, whatever happened to blah, blah? Oh, he's in jail or he got shot. Like, that boy, he was such a nice boy. Like, their moms are the same way. Mijo, what do you need? Let me cook for you, blah, blah. You guys be safe, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was like this, I guess Mexico is South LA. I think we said that. Like, it's just Southern hospitality. My family's Southern, so that resonated with me. It's kind of parallels I'm trying to draw as we get to this era as my fan base shifts. Everybody want to know what set you claim. That's Ninth Wonder's first time he's on the mic in our sessions.
Everybody wanna know what set you claim. I'm from LA, Southern California through the West Coast, where everybody is somebody.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, he's like, never mind. And like, this whole beat, I can see, it's so him. The funny thing is, this beat is so him. Like, when you see his bop, like when I asked his wife how she met him, she's like, oh man, I used to call him, I forgot what used to call him hip hop or something, because he used to be always walking through the crowd at their college, like nodding his head. And he has this bop, and it's the ninth bop, and how he chopped this beat is so him. And I could see him, like, he would look up at the mic and then tap the space bar and record his part. So I think I think that's him. His first time he's on the record because we didn't have anything. I'm from LA. That's when you're in the studio and it's bouncing back and forth. Like he's like, okay, I know what I'm gonna put there. Don't do that. I got this.
I'm from LA.
And then like that's it. It's a bounce. He forced this beat on me. I forced some LA on it, and then he hopped in on the hook. We got the second verse, land with the 6 foes, hop up and get low. Your favorite rapper getting jacked for more than his sick flow. Around this time, well-known rapper got jacked at Roscoe's. It's like the homies, of course, they tell me because I know rap, and I couldn't save that one. But I was like, yeah, you can't go to Roscoe's. One of my wife's the first time we dated, we went to Roscoe's, the one in my neighborhood on Pico. And I never think there was an era when I was on Pico, when I'm in my neighborhood, I'm going to walk in the middle of the street. I'm a whatever. Whatever, you're not about to scare me or touch me. I'll get on a chirp. You better not. It may not be true, but that's how I felt. And I don't feel that way. I've learned. No one is undefeated in the streets. But I'm at Roscoe's, and so I pull out all my money, my little rap money, carry gang. I used to carry gang cash with me, throw it on the table, like sort through, about to pay for a meal. And I see some dudes like, once they see me do that, they were about to get up and they sit down and wait. And I'm also from a street kid, so I'm like, I see them waiting on me. So then I call the homies. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers think I'm about to be a lick. They think when they get outside in my neighborhood, they're about to take something from me. I was like, oh, let me show you, let me show you something really quick. Hopped on the thing. I was like, all right. And the homie pulled up, sat outside. And I don't know what I'm not gonna say. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what happened after that. But let's just say that they found out quick that it wasn't about to be what they thought it was about to be. So someone went to Roscoe's thinking that you're not me, motherfucker. You're not about to wear your chain in over here. For not why shouldn't you be able to wear your jewelry? Let's come out of that mentality. Why shouldn't you be able to wear your jewelry? It's yours. You bought it. You earned it. You paid for it. Why should someone be able to take it from you? My thing is, if you see in an area of oppressed people and you are flossing or fronting in an area of people who are oppressed and not able to, but you may feel, I come from same circumstances, I got it. Why can't they get it? Why do they have to take mine? It's a whole debate. I'm not getting into it. The young man got robbed, had to make some phone calls to get it back.
Your favorite rapper getting jacked for more than his sick flows. Home of the pornos, we mess up award shows. The weather's always warm, so the women wear short clothes. Our beaches ain't the cleanest, but our is the greenest. And we got the blonde bombshells and sick Latinas. The mix in the dark skin, light skin sisters, where you never have to wear your triple goose. On Christmas, you could miss us with the blizzards and the winters. The hurricanes, lessons, and some glasses with some actresses. Perfect frame, silicone, really don't matter if she paid for it. Every single trend you could probably thank LA for it. Bandanas, facelifts, quick trips to Vegas, white t-shirt, Chuck Taylors or them K-Swiss, pop locking, crip walking, chronic blunts, G-Funk, a place that everybody hate, but you gotta see once. LA, Southern California, through the West Coast, where everybody is.
Favorite rapper getting jacked for more than his sick flows. Home of the pornos. Risky Business video, still hanging out with Van Styles. By then, I kind of stopped with that, only to return. Backslide. We messed up award shows. A lot of rappers, my favorite West Coast rappers accused, I think E40, or a lot of people were allegedly put on hands on other rappers at award shows. So that was happening at this time. Messed up award shows. Weather's always warm, so the women were short clothes. Our beaches ain't the cleanest, but our weed is the greenest. Bleep that out, but not nigga. I know we don't. No, we didn't bleep that out. We said weed. Weed is the greenest. All right. Got the blonde bombshells, the sick Latinas. Couldn't say Latinas without. I was very into Latinas. Not that I was able to date them, because I was always in a relationship once I started having the feeder mejinas come to the shows. Unfortunately, fortunately. I did end up marrying a Latina, but she's Brazilian, not Chicana. So, but I could not say that without saying that dark skin, light skin sisters. We never have to wear a triple goose on Christmas. You can miss it with the blizzards, the winters, the hurricanes. That's a drink in New Orleans that I learned. But also, me and Ninth Wonder, he's a Seminoles fan. I'm a Gators fan. We can unite in our despise and lack of respect for the Miami Hurricanes. So it's kind of like a subliminal double entendre. I'm sorry to my boy Jay Yato, who listens, who's actually a graduate. Ninth Wonder nor I didn't graduated from either of those Florida schools. But we're down for our squads. That was like a slight, for me and him, still be able to shit on the Hurricanes. Let's some glass with some actresses, mixed with the Blizzard and the Hurricanes. Let's some glass with actresses, perfect frame. Silicone really don't matter. She paid for it. Every single trend, yeah, I think LA for it. Bandanas, facelifts, quick trips to Vegas. White T-shirts, yes. Chuck Taylor and K-Swiss. If you're in the know, I'm not going to say anything disrespectful, but kill suckers when I see some. K-Swiss, the derogatory term for bloods that some people put in there. Chuck Taylor's or the K-Swiss, pop locking, crip walking, chronic blunts, G-Funk. And just a clean pair of white K-Swiss were a thing. G-Funk, a place that everybody, chronic blunts, G-Funk, a place that everybody hate, but you got to see it once. New Yorkers hate LA. LA haters New York are like, on a surface level, and it's the exact opposite. In New York, they live on top of each other. There's shit underground. Everybody's moving like ants and moving fast. Cali, we're laid back. The weather's warm. We're in a little bubble of car. You better not get too close to me or I'm going to do a drive-by or start a fight with you or something. Like, we're very sensitive about our space. New Yorkers could be on a train all piled up together. It's just different. Weather's different. Climate is different. It's two different cultures. To me, it's two different countries. Place that everybody hates, and everybody hates the plastic and blah, 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 blah. But that's, like I said, only north of Wilshire. If you claim people are fake in LA, it's probably you that are fake, because we get so many people that come here from another country, or especially before the internet, you can come here and reinvent yourself. I was this and this and this back home. And then if you stay in certain neighborhoods, you'll never have to prove it. And it's true. You can reinvent yourself here. It's Hollywood. It's make-believe a lot. It's Hollywood is here. LA is not Hollywood. Hollywood is in LA. And I'll try to end it there. We didn't even get to talk about the video, and maybe I'll do that for the Patreon. But I think that's about enough on this. It's already an hour and a half. How could it not be? I'm from LA. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.